So a couple of days ago, I made a video about the Tesla Optimus robot, and I got a couple of interesting comments which I want to go over with you. This is coming in from Montanes Disques. One, you never explain why 10 million humanoid robots by Tesla isn't possible. Two, the point of a generalist humanoid robot is to simplify production. One robot for everything. And here's another comment coming in from R. Van Bio. This person says, the world is built for humans, which is why you would build a robot in this form. The Tesla factory is already filled with specialized robots, but if you want to replace the remaining human workers, then you need a robot with the same capabilities. If they can build millions of vehicles, why not millions of humanoid robots? It's hard to read this stuff without laughing, but honestly, guys, this is the audience out there. People do fall for the hype. People believe that Elon Musk and Tesla is going to build a bazillion robots, actually in this case 10 million robots. And it's funny because when I made the first video, I basically was just showing you what other YouTuber people say, and they basically hype up this robot saying, hey, they're going to build millions of these things. And I laugh and I don't feel like it needed any explanation. But then I have to remind myself that the internet is filled with stupid people, children, and stupid children. I'm so mean. But you got to be mean. There's no other way to put it. And I also want to be honest too as well. I kind of know why people believe in this stuff, and I want to go through some of the headlines and sort of go into it. First, to address this very simple point. One of the main problems with the world that we live in today is people are frankly really, really lazy. I'll give you a simple example. So why is 10 million robots too many for Tesla to build? Well, all it needs to take is a simple Google search. You can see here in 2022, Tesla built 1.3 million, we're talking about cars here. This is deliveries in 2022, right? So that gives you a general perspective. And you can see, yes, they grew a whole bunch in 2022, right? But like, we're talking about a market where people are used to buying a car. We're talking about cars, right? And it's like a million. Now, suddenly we haven't sold any robots at Tesla, right? We're building out these human things that can walk, and then that's about it. And to go suddenly from like selling no robots to 10 million is quite a stretch when we're only even selling a million cars per se. And I would even say, if Tesla's going to sell 10 million cars next year, that would even be a stretch, like let alone robots. So that's why this whole thing is like a complete joke. But I understand if you don't Google anything and you're a kid and you have no experience in the world, you just believe everything that you hear. And the main thing I really want you to get from when we have these discussions every day on the channel is to be a little bit more grounded in the stuff that you think and you say. But the reason why people go for the dream, the lies, etc., is that it's fun and entertaining to live in fantasy world. That's real. It's fun and entertaining. I'll give you an example. This was just a headline today. Actually, this is related to it, but I'll just read it here. Nikola admits rolling truck downhill as it counters fraud claims. If you don't remember this Nikola company, they said, hey guys, we got this really cool, EV truck thing, and they claimed that it worked. And then in their advertising for it, they rolled it down a hill and let gravity do the work. So the thing didn't work, right? And as it turns out, the founder, Trevor Milton, he got sentenced to 4 years for fraud today. And this is dated December 19th. So I just want to say like this stuff is widespread and it involves tons of money. You convince a bunch of people to go along with the sham or scam, however you want to say it. And moreover, because people got so invested in this thing, they keep spreading the lies as well. And the thing is that it is so easy to get caught up in essentially hype because y'all want to make money, y'all want to be rich, right? Of course, we all want cool technology, etc. But there comes a point to where you need to train yourself to be, hey, it is okay to be critical in this world. Have a critical mind, have critical thinking. And just because you ask, very basic questions of like, hey, Mr. Milton, can we take a look at what's under the hood of your Nikola truck? And he's like, no, you can't take a look. And you're like, okay, right? Like that kind of stuff. You can't just accept what anyone says. You got to like ask questions. And just because asking questions and have a critical mind doesn't make you a hater, it doesn't make you rude. It means that you're doing your due diligence. I'll give you another example. And I wanted to show you these examples from like modern day, from today, to show you like how widespread this crazy hype culture, lying culture is in the US. Here's another one. This is George Santos. I'll just read the headline. A timeline of George Santos fabrications and controversy. And it's actually funny because there are so many articles out about this guy. If you don't know, he reached Congress. And he just like made up all kinds of crap about himself. Like he's like really good at volleyball, that his mom died in like 9/11, and like just weird crap that, is so easily verifiable, meaning that you can check, at his college or high school. And I think he even said he graduated from college, which he even didn't either. Like all of these kind of things people just make up, but they just want to believe in the hype, believe in the lies. Moreover, I'm bringing in politics and stuff. And I don't talk politics too much in this channel, but I just want to mention it because it just kind of shows how widespread this culture is. And to be perfectly honest, and it's sad to say, you can lie your way to the top. It is a real thing. Here's another example. This is Rudy Giuliani, who, I'll just be honest with you guys, during 9/11, he was a hero. We all remember him. He was the mayor of New York. We all remember this, and it's really sad to see this downfall of this guy. But, I live in reality. I don't necessarily just believe anything that he says. Like, you got to ask questions. So read it here. Multi-million-dollar ruling against Giuliani shows the cost of spreading election lies. And essentially, people sued him. So it's a $148 million ruling against him. So 2 Georgia election workers, and basically they claim defamation and won. This is the kind of penalties that you face if you're out there just making up crap, right? You could go to prison. You can face a lot of money penalties. And moreover, the reason why people believe this kind of stuff is because they just convince themselves that that's the truth, no matter what the facts say. And sadly, this is the world that we live in. The people that say, Chris, you're just a hater, even though Tesla only makes 1 million cars, but you probably didn't even know that because you're too lazy to look it up. But suddenly they're going to make, 10 million robots out their butt. It's like I hope you guys understand. Like I'm laughing at you and being a little bit mean because these kind of just basic logic, it seems to be thrown out the window. And I feel sad for the younger generation. Moreover, it's not just the young people. That's why I say the internet's full of stupid people, because here's another simple example. Trump seeks to dismiss election case by claiming political speech. So just let this sink in, and people will be like, oh, Chris, you hate free speech and stuff like that. Like, okay. So if just making whatever crap that whatever you want and claiming free speech, like if I say, hey guys, I have this great company and we're going to colonize not Mars, we're going to colonize Pluto because Pluto is more awesome than Mars. So therefore you should, buy my company. And in fact, we're going to fund my company with NFTs. I can't even say it with a straight face. But my point is that there's a real sickness that we have in society where people can just make up whatever they want, and then they say, well, it's freedom of speech, and give me your money. I hope you understand the inherent problems with this. Now, this is sort of why I try to do the news with you guys every day and try my best to just stick to like facts. So like, here's an example. And this is something that happens to our biggest companies, Apple. They had to stop selling iPhones, Apple Watches today. See, I correct myself because I want to get things right. It's the Watch Series 9 and the Ultra 2. Essentially, the government's investigating this, the ITC here, saying, Apple, you might have violated patent law. What it is that this is a blood oxygen sensor thing, and then Massimo's saying, like, we invented it, it's our patent, you're using our tech, basically. And here's a quote here. The ITC found that Apple stole Massimo's patented pulsar oximetry technology, which measures blood oxygen. The ITC undertook a thorough legal process, and its expert judgment in this matter should be respected, protecting intellectual property rights and maintaining public trust in the United States patent system. Why am I bringing up Apple? Well, because I want you to understand that even our biggest, most powerful companies bend the rules and may not necessarily tell you the truth on this stuff. And this is also a sadness and a sickness in the USA. It's very real. If you have high-paid attorneys, sometimes you can get away with stuff. It doesn't make it right? And this is sort of like what the things that we hopefully talk about on the channel. I'll give you my opinion when I can, when I feel it's appropriate, and also just tell you just plain out facts. So right now, what's going to happen with this particular patent situation? Well, Apple will have to quit selling watches. Who knows, right? I don't know the future of this one. I would guess, and this, again, give you my opinion on this particular one, I bet there's a high chance that Apple just pays some sort of settlement and then goes right around, selling watches. But the company that's saying, hey, you claim my patent is probably going to, make money off of this stuff because they invented it, if indeed this turns out to be the case. So this is the kind of situations to where anything in life, Hold judgment until you know for sure, but do acknowledge that there are facts out there that makes certain things look bad. I'll give you another example, and this reminds me of all of these sort of sham emails that we all get in our mailboxes all the time. There's always someone, the long lost, family member, or it turns out that you're part of a royal family somewhere in Nigeria. It's always Nigeria, who knows? And if you just send them a bunch of money, suddenly you're going to be rich, right? That's the world that you live in. And this is actually a headline 2 hours ago. SEC charges fintech Tingo chief with massive fraud after Hindenburg short position. And we're talking about, I guess, billions of dollars here. And let me read this. It's actually really quite interesting. The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission has charged Nigerian businessmen who bid for English Premier League football. So this person's got enough money, like he's like, hey, I'm going to buy a football team in Europe with massive fraud, alleging that he and his 3 companies inflated, meaning they just made stuff up, their financial metrics to defraud investors. The SEC alleged on Monday that, and he's got a great name, Dozie Mbozi. I think that's how you would say it. Dozie Mbozi. So if it's a different pronunciation, let me know, but I just think it's a great name. Dozie Mbozi. Head of the Tingo Group, Agri FinTech Holdings, and Tingo International Holdings had led a scheme that fabricated their financial statements and those of their Nigerian affiliates Tingo Mobile Limited and Tingo Foods. And here's a quote from the SEC. The scope of the fraud is staggering. The SEC wrote, since 2019, so gone for 4 years, defendants have booked billions of dollars worth of fictitious transactions through 2 Nigerian subsidiary companies Mbozi founded and controls, reported hundreds of millions of dollars of non-existent revenues and assets. The reason why I went through all of this stuff today, all in the same video, is because I want you to understand like how widespread this kind of nonsense is. And I hope that you understand sort of the message of this thing is that, hey, Google everything, question things, be critical. For using your mind and being critical, when people just say, oh, people who are critical are haters, it just makes me feel strange. It's like, okay, so I guess that we have to turn off our brains and just be part of the hype machine. I guess that's a great formula for success. And what I will say is that if you want to live in that world, just be careful, because there's people out there like, say, the Nikola founder, who will be glad to take your money and go to prison for it and then come back out and still be rich. That is a real thing. That's not the world that I want to live in or be a part of, and that's sort of what I warn you guys about with all the YouTube scammers out there. But it's well beyond YouTube. It is all over throughout society, politics, business, government, etc. So I hope you guys understand the message of this. Please be careful. And no, I don't think Tesla's going to build 10 million robots anytime soon. So thanks again, and I'll catch you next video.